You've ever been part of a recruitment process where you've got to the end of it and you felt like we still don't really know who this candidate is. We really don't know how they tick, how they're going to respond to a range of critical scenarios. We asked a number of questions, but we just couldn't get a read on this candidate, and it can be really frustrating. And we can feel like, geez, we're confident enough in our hiring decision? What I find can sometimes be the reason for this, or at least part of the reason for this, is that the panel or the hiring manager hasn't necessarily properly defined exactly what they're looking for, and therefore the questions were a bit off the mark, if you like, or they simply didn't define the criteria enough, and therefore the tools that they used weren't able to get that information that they really needed. When I work with hiring managers and panels, and I go through the process that I'm about to take you through, which is the FASTA 5 role definition process, what we usually find is that when they get to the end of the process, they're thinking, wow, we really have a very comprehensive understanding now of exactly what we need. And that tends to be different from their starting position. It tends to be different from the position description that they started with. So here we have the role definition process is the first factor, will, and the first sub-factor of will is determination. What we can do in this situation here is more accurately define exactly what we're looking for in the role. So ideally what we want is to be working with the hiring manager or the panel. We want them part of the call. We're going through this together to get their buy-in on this so that they understand exactly what we're doing in terms of creating this template. And so they get obviously a role involved in defining this template. So let's imagine that we're looking for, we're trying to discuss the type of leader that we want. So let's just say that good leadership skills was a competency on the position description, but doesn't really tell you sort of anything more. What we can do here is say, well, what type of leader do we want? Do we want a more democratic style of leader, which is down this end of the scale, where the person is more flexible? Or do we want a sort of firmer style of leadership, where the person is sort of leading from the front, making decisions from the front? Exactly. Or are we looking for something sort of in between? So this kind of discussion and analysis lands us on exactly what we're looking for in this type of candidate, and goes beyond the usual process that, say, for instance, a position description would provide, if you like. So once we've gone through all of the 13 sub-factors, we're now ready to create the template. This positions us now to have the candidates complete the FASTA 5, and then what we're going to do is compare their FASTA 5 scores to the template and determine the degree of fit. The product is the FASTA 5 audition report, which, using a traffic light system, you can see in the green where the candidate is really close to what you're looking for, in the orange, not so close, and in the red, the areas where there's a real misalignment. So the beauty of this is instantly you can kind of get an assessment of where the candidate's fit is, and then start to hone in on some of the areas where there's a misalignment, and these can be the areas that can be a real focus for you in regards to interview questions.